The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Africans today, we see ourselves not to be equal to other people, and for that matter we'll go to any length in order to look like other people. So what is it that makes the African to see him or herself to be lesser than other people? Why are we seeing ourselves to be inferior to the other races? One of our brother is explaining to us why the African sees himself to be less to other people. For instance, he talked about the God that they presented to us. When these people came, they told us that our gods that we are serving are demonic, they are evil, they are not good. So they need to give us a God in their own image. So they gave us a God that looks like them. So the African sees that with this God that looks like my oppressor is the best God. So in order for me to be able to become like them, I need to serve their God and turn everything of mine into them in order to feel special. And that is very true because of the religions that these people sold to us. We have even lost our culture, our identity, our way of life.
Where did that sense of inherent inferiority come from, if not from imagery? I'm going to let you hold this.
Yep.
If not from imagery, biblical imagery depicting biblical characters in whiteface and as superior to dark-skinned peoples. So here is a white Jesus in the ring. We were talking earlier about being in a fight. You know, you said, you know, in a ring, we take it. You take it. If you're in the ring, if you're in a battle, in a fight, you know that taking hits is part of the.
Yes.
That's the idea.
Yes.
But if you don't know that you're in a fight, you know you. But in this rendition, the black man is getting knocked out. So as a young child, as a baby, looking at images. Here's another example. This is 2001, when I first started coming to South Africa. When I first began to come, in the beginning. Now, she's not looking at the white Adam and Eve in the picture, but the way that the angle and the way that it's used on the cover, it's as though she's looking up at these white people with reverence. But we know that's
the angels up above.
And so these images have had a profound impact on us. And so fast forward, when you have Mnangagwa come to power in Zimbabwe, and it talks about a new power dynamic, we'd have to say, wait a minute, what's going to be new with those powdered wigs? What's going to be new with that suit and tie? There's nothing new coming, because the dynamic remains the same. And so that's just on a surface level. Then we come to issues such as this. Does heaven exist? Now, they're the ones that taught us that heaven was up there in the sky, and you had to die to get there.
Yes.
They're the ones that told us. Now they're asking. They are now rethinking the resurrection and what it means. Because most of our people, being honest, most of our people are anticipating dying, going in the ground, and at some point being brought out of the ground and ascending into the sky. That's the resurrection they're looking for. My sister, according to the Hebraic thought, we have already died and gone to hell.
I can believe that.
And the only thing that can happen now is to be resurrected and brought to heaven. Did I point up there when I said hell? We went to hell. Okay, up, down, whatever. But it's not some mythical space. It's torture. We're in a living hell. We're tormented. It's torture to live in a society like this. One of the brothers at Ananda, he was talking about violence. I said, bruh, the violence is already here. It's violent to someone's being to see all of this glitter and these nice cars and nice homes, and you can't ever aspire to it. That's violent. That's an unholy, inhumane, obscene economic system, and we cannot continue to be part of it. We have to opt out. Come out of her,
oh my
people.
God.
We've got to opt out, and you do that via community. We can't exist as individuals. We have to begin to get to a point where I've got enough, and in fact, I've got enough to share. And then we will begin to return back to the values that we had. But we right now, we're on the wrong road, going in the wrong direction.
We practically want to be like other people and not the African, simply because of the way they sold the narrative to us, and they make sure that everything that has to do with the black person is portrayed to be bad, is either evil or is this way, and they associate everything evil with blackness. So we grew up with this mentality, believing that everything of ours is bad. So the African do not want to look like who he or she is because of the false narrative. And we will go to any length just to look like other people before we believe in ourselves that we are special, that we are not humans. And we have to start decolonizing that mentality, because that is where we have fallen. And that is what is giving power to the other race to make sure that they see the African to be inferior and to continue to make the African suffer. If we actually want other people to accept us, to respect us like always we complain, it is time for you, the African, to start accepting who you are. Especially with the women who go to any length to wear Brazilian hair, Japanese hair, Korean hair. We just want to look like other people. But one thing we have forgotten is we can never cheat nature. The moment you get into the room and you take off that everything that you have put on, you look your African. We need to start accepting who we are, because there is nothing wrong about how we look. There is nothing wrong about blackness. But because these people fear the African, they needed to make sure that we lose power. And the moment you lose your identity, you have lost your power to other people. And other people will do to you as they please. And that is why anytime you see a black person in the midst of other people, we are the ones that these people always treat less. Because even as Africans, because of the false narrative, that they've sold to us as Africans, will go to any length just to wash away the blackness. And that is why you see Africans saying, I am not black, I am brown. Even among us, we are trying to find reasons to wash away the blackness. You see the funny reasons that we give to ourselves. But no matter what you do and you try to do, you always be the African. This is where we originate from. And that is why this is the only place you can ever feel like home, because this is where you belong. There is no other place that you can be that you will feel like home. So it is high time as Africans we start to do something about this. Decolonize the mentality. Start accepting yourself as who you are. Other people are accepting the way they are. Even though they have faults, they have their own weaknesses. But because of the way they told them, they preached them about who they are, they have learned to accept it with pride. But Africans, even now, the African in this 21st century, with all the information on our fingertips, we are still doing everything possible just to wash away who we are. And that is why even today, we don't even feel like eating the African, because we have the mentality that being African and eating what is you are not civilized, because we have associated civilization to colonization. And today the African keeps colonizing him or herself just to be like the oppressor. And no matter how much we try to be like them, we can never be like them. A butterfly can never be a bird. And why are we not so proud of who we are? But no matter how much we try to wash these things away, we still end up being classified as black people. So we have to learn to accept ourselves, because black is beautiful. I just love my blackness. I love who I am, because I don't need any other person to tell me that black is beautiful. I need to know that black is beautiful. And we have to start teaching our children this, because we the Africans have been downplayed. We are even now allowing other people to step more on us. We said that our forefathers were not civilized, but now that you claim you are civilized and you are still giving out yourself out for colonization, you and your forefather who rose up to fight against colonization, who is civilized. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world and in Africa.